Hello Libra, this is going to be a reading for February 2016. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for your comments, your feedback. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for sharing as well. Thank you for the calls during the radio show. I really do appreciate that as well. This is going to be a regular 5-card spread and 2 additional cards for your love life. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't think of what it is, so I'm just going to start. Okay, so what is the card that's representing your current situation? We have the card called Hope. Hope is an amazing card. It is probably the best, if one of the best, if not the best card in a deck. And basically all it says is that if you're not being hopeful, be hopeful. Because, and this is to do about an aspect of yourself. And interestingly enough, and this is for Libra, interestingly enough, I am being shown someone dealing with addictions. I want to say that these addictions are in your past, or this is a reading for someone you know, or you are just about to deal with them. And that's very interesting, because he just kind of threw it at me. And it is a situation where you are, I feel like you're going to be saved, or you feel like you're going to be saved. Now, this can also be addiction to people. It could be addiction to food, shopping, whatever, but it also can be addiction to relationships, and in a specific way. For example, being needy. And you are now in a phase where there is a lot of hope for you, and this is very personal. Okay, so very interesting. The energies that you are leaving, or that are leaving you, is the card is called Suffering in Silence. This is a card pertaining to your emotional faculties, way of being. It is number 9. 9 signifies endings of cycles, but this card was shown to me in reverse. And what I'm hearing is that you said, enough is enough, I'm done, I'm out of here, see you later. You have decided to say enough, no more. So if this is to do with an addiction, perhaps something happened and you said, I'm done, no more. Whether it's love, shopping, again, food, whatever it may be, some kind of a behavior pattern that doesn't suit you or didn't serve you well. And I'm seeing the number 10. So sorry about that. Incidentally enough, I am seeing the number 10 with this suffering in silence. So maybe you have been dealing with an addiction or a certain way of being for 10 years or 10 months. And you are coming to the end of that suffering or that silence, okay, or that cycle. Now, what is about to enter your life within the next 3 weeks or 3 months? You have the card called Emotional Withdrawal. This is very much pertaining to your emotional sense of being. 8 is number of foundations, and it signifies a lot of work. And what he's saying to me is, this is what you are to expect. For the next little while, it's going to feel like it's hard emotional work, and something pertaining to the situation you just left, okay? You'll also hear the word withdrawal. Well, it is withdrawal, it says emotional withdrawal. Sounds to me like you will be dealing with a time in your life where you will want to go inward. I hear the word sulk. You will want to contemplate, but there's also a bit of a feeling of feeling sorry for oneself, and that sometimes that isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as you don't stay and wallow in it. But the indication of this particular card is, expect to be feeling down and also feeling like you are alone. You may not necessarily be alone. You may be dealing with this alone. You may have people around you, but still feel like emotionally you are dealing with this alone, because sometimes people can't help us the way we would want them to. It just simply doesn't sometimes exist, because we may not even know what that is. So this is what you are to expect, or what's expected. This isn't a negative message. It's just saying, FYI, this is what's coming up, and if it comes, when it comes, don't let that drag you down, don't let that surprise you. And I'm being told it is a normal part of the grieving process. Interesting choice of words, because we didn't talk about death here, but he's saying to me, in many aspects, we are talking about the death of ego, meaning the death of a certain way of being. So like the old part of you is dying, a certain way of being is dying, so that the new one can emerge. Before the new one can emerge, there is a space in between the old and the new where things have to come into balance before moving forward. Okay, so very interesting message and choice of words. Now, what is where this is all stemming from is we have the card called Choose Wisely. Number 7, this is about an emotional way of being. And basically what this says to me is that you have, I want to say you made poor choices and bad decisions, and that's not typically the message I would get with this particular card, but that's what I'm being told to say to you. So if in fact you are leaving a certain way of being pertaining to addictions, then at some point in your life you have made an unwise choice. But what's done is done. You've been on that road. You have learned many lessons, I'm sure, because it would be incredible if you didn't. So that's just signifying where it all came from. Something went sideways, you went sideways, whatever that means. But let it be. Okay, just leave it where it belongs, which is in the past. Now, card that is representing your future, or in the next 6 months or longer term, we have the card called Emotional Loss. That's really interesting. You've got 3 cards pertaining to emotions, but the very card that you are being told that's happening right now is you're in a position of hope. Now, just because you'll be going through this emotional withdrawal does not mean you can't have hope, or you shouldn't have hope. It is precisely why you're going to go through this emotional withdrawal, because it's going to allow you to contemplate and clear out the emotional house. But this particular card, this is a card of change on an emotional level. It is a card of, again, ending being a certain way, and a certain emotional way of being. And perhaps the reason why you were dealing with addictions is because there were emotions that got underway, or you couldn't deal with certain emotions. You didn't know how to fill that space with things other than, you know, shopping, drinking, smoking, sex, cigars, drugs, whatever it may be, right? But why is it shown to me in the future? It is shown to me to you in the future because you need to understand that just because you are in the process of leaving one way of being, that is a physical part of who you are. The emotional counterpart to you will take some time in order for you to feel healed. That is specifically the word he wants me to use. So perhaps you will be reminiscing, again, interesting choice of words, of what was, and you will feel like that you have been for so long is no longer. And sometimes it feels, when we go through changes and we leave the old ways, sometimes we go through a grieving process where literally a part of us dies. The part of us that no longer serves purpose dies, and the certain way of not being that way anymore very much evokes a feeling of loss. I have gone through this couple times in the last little while with regards to my spiritual growth. For those of you who are very intellectually connected, that may not apply to you in a way, as in you may not feel it that way or interpret it that way, but you know, any change is always met with perceived loss, and perhaps a part of you is leaving you because it no longer serves you, and as a result you are going to reminiscence and feel a little sadness, and that's okay. That is okay. Now, so that was the general message. I hope that makes sense to you. It's a deep message as well. For your love life, the first card you get is how appropriate, heart chakra. So heart chakra is at the very center of our diaphragm. It is connected to heart and is very much about love, giving and receiving. And what I'm asked to say with this particular card is be ready to open up to a greater love that is in front of you. And I get the number 9. This could be 9 weeks, 9 months. It could could be as much as 9 days, but that seems a little short, but it's not for me to judge or interpret. So get ready to open for true love. Now, he's also saying to me that the reason why you're getting ready to open to that is because you have come into a place of loving yourself. And I know those are big words, and sometimes, loving yourself, what is that about? But for those of you who are, or for those of us who are spiritually inclined, for most of us, I think we all know how important it is for us to value ourselves. Some of it called value, some of it called love ourselves, whatever it may be. But the reason why you're opening up to greater love is because you have come into a place in your life where you have allowed yourself to come first. And that is, that's a requirement for when you love yourself, or loving yourself is a requirement for feeling like you come first. So that's the first card. Now, if you are in a loving relationship already, all that means is that possibly, get ready to open up to an even greater aspect in your relationship, emotional aspect of your relationship. Maybe there's some stuff that need healing between the two of you, or three, I don't know, between the two of you, and some of that will come up, and that will allow you to bring it up to surface, deal with it, resolve it, and move on. Okay? The second card from the Angels deck, I have the card called Teresa. And I always like to show this to you. And the card says, time out. You have been very busy taking care of everyone else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. So if I was to take this as a message for love life, actually what I'm being shown is a person, you perhaps being in a work situation and work, no time for self-care. And I don't necessarily mean bathing, but taking care of oneself, more than just basic needs, TLC. And because of what a job or something that keeps you busy, you have neglected yourself. And what I find is interesting is that even though this is supposed to be a love reading, he is reminding me that there's also such thing as love for oneself. I know it's not necessarily a Valentine's-like message, but it's an aspect of life he's asking us, all of us, not to forget. Because if we do not allow ourselves to value ourselves or to love ourselves, it'll limit that much more the potential of your relationship with somebody else as far as the growth and the possibilities. So this felt like a channeled message. So actually, if you were to ask me to repeat this, I actually don't know what I just said. So take time for yourself, because the more you take care of yourself, the more you will be open to receiving love from somebody else. I hope that makes sense. I hope you find it helpful. Please comment, please share, please subscribe. Please leave me your feedback. I love, love, love hearing your feedback so much. If you would like me to have, if you would like to have a private reading specifically for your situation, feel free to email me at the information below, and I will happily get back to you fairly quickly. Current wait time to get a reading is about 2.5, 3 weeks, so that's actually not too bad. You can also call me every other Sunday at the live radio show where I give readings live for 2 hours, and that information is also posted down below. I wish you a happy Valentine's Day, wonderful February, and I look forward to hearing you or to seeing you again in March. Have a wonderful day and good luck. Bye.